Waiting, waiting, waiting. All right, let's see. Here we go. Uh-oh. Clearly I didn't do this correctly. Let's try this again. There we go. Meoka, I think it's join. You're gonna join. I don't know what's happening. Hang on. Meoka, if you can hear me, go ahead and request again. I don't know why I didn't pull you in. Gotta love this technology. Hello, guys. I'm just waiting for Instagram to cooperate with me. All right, I'm going to try this a different way. I am going to request you and see if that works. There we
How's it
go.
going? How are you?
My goodness, I'm doing well. How are
I'm
you?
doing good. It's always that moment. It's like, is this gonna catch me in the best light? When it comes on, you don't get a preview or anything.
Exactly. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We took a little bit of a break, but I'm back with this episode of Let's Get Down to Biz. And this is where I talk to other business owners and we talk about the good, the bad, the ups and downs, and all the things in between of being a small business owner. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erica J. Pierce, and I am a growth mindset life coach. And I basically teach people who struggle with mindset, discipline, clarity, those kind of things, help them to become more self empowered action takers. So, tonight I am super excited. We're going to be talking about starting something from nothing.
Mhm.
Yes. And so, before I even introduce my guest, let me just brag on her a little bit. So, this lady is the CEO, the creator, the founder of Heels Out. Heels Out is let me get it right, a ladies, yes. It is a ladies' night experience. It was created for women,
Yeah.
to empower women through dance.
Mhm.
And her company has impacted hundreds of women in the Houston area, of course, but also she's had sold out classes in Dallas, Atlanta,
Mhm.
Georgia, Jamaica,
Jamaica.
all of it. We're all around this thing. So
Yeah.
without further ado, I want to introduce Miss Meoka McBride.
Thank you so much. You hit that on the head, like exactly what we do and all the things. So thank you so much for that. And congratulations to you for this endeavor. I think
Thank
this is so
you.
perfect. And I know you're going to change so many lives with this. So
Thank
I
you
just
so much.
encourage you to just go for it 100%. It's exciting.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for taking out the time tonight because I know as a business owner, it can be tough taking out that time, but I got you for at least 30 minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes. So all right, first of all, let me just say anybody who watches my show knows that everybody that I know is literally through dance. So it's just crazy that yes, we'll talk about that just in a second. So,
Right.
what? Tell us about Heels Out because again, I'm a dancer. I'm here for it. I heard about cocktails and drinks, and I was like, perfect. What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Well,
When are we
first of
doing?
all, I'm glad that a lot of the guests are dancers because we need to be more represented in this light to be able to talk about business, to be able to talk about livelihood, which is dance for us. But Heels Out is just it started off crazy. Like when I first started, before Heels Out was Heels Out, I just wanted to do a sexy dance class for my 34th birthday. I'm 30 years old now. So if you want to do the math on that. And so I wanted to do something sexy, but before then I majored in dance, got a BFA at San Francisco State University. I didn't I had only done modern contemporary dance. I was also teaching concert dance ensemble at a high school. And so no one had ever seen me dance sensual or sexy. And so I was gonna actually just pay someone to come and teach the class, like my birthday class, and it was just gonna be a small group. And I thought about it, and I was like, why would I pay someone? you know, because before that, like most women, I was like dancing sexy in my mirror when the music came on. And I'm
Oh
like, I
yeah.
look kind of good. And this makes me feel good to dance like this. But I was like, you know what? I got all of these student loans from majoring in dance. I'm going to put this degree to use in every way possible. So I'm like, these people are about, whoever these people are, they're about to see me dance sexy. And I was really nervous about it, but I ended up hosting my first class. It was going to be an intimate class. I decided to go from a small class to a bigger class. And my first class ended up having over 30 women. It was a beginner friendly dance, and they were just all so excited. I was excited. It was fun. I had lots of teaching experience, so that wasn't the problem. It was people seeing my legs with fishnets on. Did I have fishnets on the night? It was just people seeing me be sexy. But that's
Mhm.
how it started. And so that night, an acquaintance of mine was like, heels out. And I was like, let's do it, you know? And that night, the very first night in 2018, was the very first night that Heels Out was born.
Wow. So you went from, I want to take a class, so I'm just going to teach a class,
Right.
and I have 30 people in my class.
Yeah, I went from one dynamic to the other dynamic.
Oh my goodness, that is so great. Well, congrats to you, because sometimes it's hard to get people in a room.
It is, and it is a hustle. But you know what's crazy? A lot of people don't know. Even some of my team that's on here, is that before Heels Out, I did MLM, multi-level marketing. So the people who
Mm,
know me, my followers who have been following me my whole process with business, they know me as Meoka, the It Works distributor. They know me as Meoka, the fitness guru. They know me as Meoka, the Pilates instructor. So I've always been pushing something or selling something myself, my services. And then I became an It Works global distributor. And I always tell people, if you get into an MLM, that is like the boot camp for business. I
yeah.
mean, you got to get used to being comfortable asking people to buy a product. And mind you, these are products that they could go to Walmart and buy, because I did,
Hmm.
you know, but they're buying them based off of you and your influence and your expertise. And the
Right,
price gap is quite, you know, sometimes different than what you would go if you were just to go around the corner. And
right.
so I had to build an influence. I went from Facebook, maybe posting something and not caring back in the day when I first was on Facebook, to actually having to care about what I posted, actually having to do attraction marketing, and
Hmm.
being comfortable enough to ask people to buy what I was selling, and then being growing thick skin for them to say no most of the
Right.
time. And so by the time I got to Heels Out, I was able to pull those skills in business and just grit, and also just being like following up. Like I'm like, you cannot out follow up me when it comes to business. And I just applied all those skills in that same structure with Heels Out, and
Yeah.
that I say has a lot to do with the success I have today. With
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good that you pointed that out. A lot of times we go through life doing certain things and not knowing how
Mm-hmm.
that experience is going to play a part later that would be beneficial. And
That's
so you have that background and now you're selling something that's really a part of you, and that's
yeah.
something that's like your baby. So you really have the passion to really push it more than maybe something else that you're doing for
Mm-hmm.
somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
That is true.
So tell us about Hills Out. So what does that look like? What does a night look like?
You know what? So Erica, when I first started Heels Out, and my team on here knows, I used to call it, we call it like a dance class. And so I stopped calling it maybe after like the third year. I was like, you know what? I need to stop calling this a dance class, because it's not a dance class. It is an experience. And I went from calling an experience to recently it's a dance party. It
Okay.
literally is just a dance party. So if anyone thinks that they're going to walk into Heels Out and have a traditional dance class, Heels dance experience, you are going to be in over your head, but in a
Mhm.
good way if you're
Yeah.
down for that. It is a party where we celebrate being women. We celebrate like having a good time. Like it's okay to have a good time. And like when you think about it, like what problem do I solve? Because when it comes to business, you got to think about like what problem do I solve? And for a while I was like, I don't know, we just come and have fun. But it really goes deeper than that, because have you ever been out? I know I have. I'm a dancer, so I don't mind getting up and dancing. And
Yeah.
probably most of my instructors are the same way. But when you go out and you look at the room, women, they're tapping their foot, they're shaking their head, they're chair dancing. But a lot of times they do not and will not stand up and dance, even though they really want to. They
Right.
just won't do it. They're intimidated. Maybe they don't want the other men or other women watching them. You know, so the problem that I feel like I solve is that it gives women an alternative way to just go out and have a good time and not be judged and just to really dance. I have to remind women in my class that, y'all, how often do you do this? If it's not often, you need to dance your butt off tonight, because we've been
Yeah.
so used to feeling restricted that we have to be reminded, like, knock, 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 like, you get to have a good time tonight. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. And so that's what Heels Out is. It just provides a judgment-free space for women to come and dance, feel sexy, have fun. Sometimes the dances are sexy, sometimes they're upbeat and fun. But it's just a space where you can have fun. And we always have like a lady boss vendor, so you can
Hmm.
shop and support that lady boss vendor within that local community. Shout out to Exquisite Hosts. We have complimentary cocktails. So that helped me my very first class. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm nervous, so we gonna have wine. And ever since that very first class, that's always been a part of the class, is to have a libation available for the
Oh
women
yeah.
who want that.
Yeah. Oh, I
So yeah,
love
it's just a
that
good
so much.
time.
It is. It's yeah, and I'm so sad that I can't be there this weekend because I know you have something going on. I'm gonna
Oh
let you
man, you
talk
gotta
about that a
come.
little bit, but I will be there. I being an instructor myself too, I notice how women get so like shy in the dance
Yeah,
classes, and they don't realize they're thinking that the eyes are on them,
right.
but everybody in the class is thinking the same thing, so nobody's
Right.
really paying you any attention.
No
So
one's paying attention at all.
at
Like, the only
all,
person who's really gonna look at you is me, because I have to. But really, in
yeah.
the room, no one's really paying attention. And I think, like, what keeps me going is that I've had women, not even just to me, but even some of our ambassadors, just they just tell us the stories of where they came from. Maybe they've been married for a while and they just didn't feel sexy, and they're just like, thank you, because I feel sexy again. You know, maybe we just get
Yeah.
so caught up in work, we get caught up in life, especially if you're a mom, or, you know, if you're a wife or a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, we forget that part of us that
Hmm.
feels sexy. And it has little to do with sex or anything like that. It has a lot to do with just feeling confident in your own skin, remembering to show up and be confident. You know, we
Yeah.
can get used to just being frumpy. We can get used to just walking into a room and not care about being seen. We can get used to just being a dot on the wall, but we're meant to be so much more than that. We're meant to be more than a dot on the wall. We're meant to
Yeah.
step in the room and show up when we want to show up. You know, we don't
Right.
always want to. When you want to show up, you need to know how to show up, and you want to feel comfortable to show up. You need to be able to come to a place like Heels Out and know that there are other women there who feel just like you. And if you
Hmm.
want to drop it down into a split, you will be celebrated. If you want
Yes.
to sit down during the break and watch other, you will be celebrated. We really have a strict judgment-free zone, and I think that's just really important, so women always continue to feel comfortable. Because when I hear those stories, it just and it just keeps the fire going, you know, because you just never
Hmm.
know what people are walking in from. You never know,
Right.
you know, for us as dancers, you know how it is when we walk into a dance class. I'm always nervous. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, go get the choreography. Am I gonna mess up? You know, am I gonna do it right? But then when women come to Heels Out, even though it's intro beginner, they feel the same way.
They do.
They are so nervous. I had an ambassador. It took her a year to walk into the class because she felt like she was too big. She felt, you know, she was looking at
Mhm.
the videos and she says, all of those women, you know, I seen someone even post, all of the women, you know, are, you know, beautiful and in good shape. And I'm like, okay, first of all, that first word was ambassadors. And they've been to like 10 classes now. So they look like they've been to 10 classes. So if you kind of
Yeah.
just rub off the fog and really look through the room, you will really see every type of woman in our class, from like 21 and up, different sizes, shapes, different demographic, different
Hmm.
backgrounds, you know, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And to help them remember that because like you said, we get in our head. Like I
We
get caught
do.
in my head. But to allow yourself to just be free and to just enjoy the space, like that is
Yeah.
so good. And then as you continue to do that, you start to get more empowered and more, confidence. And
Right.
that's a beautiful space to be able to do that.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it
So
is.
when you first started, like what did you have any, I guess, apprehensions or did you just jump into it?
The main apprehension I had was just, one, I was a high school dance teacher. So I always had this thought in the back of my head that like my students are gonna Google me or find me on Instagram and screenshot that one moment where I'm like mid head drop, you know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
never happened, that I know of. So that was my main apprehension. And that's when I knew that at some point I was going to have to move out of that role, because I, you know, at that time when I first started Heels Out, in order to be visible in this thing, you had to post videos. I was very apprehensive about posting videos. I didn't want to post any videos. I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
people to see that and think something different of what they had known of me, because I had danced professionally for like 4 years in a modern dance company. So I was just really apprehensive about that. You know, when I first started, I didn't really think that it was gonna, I didn't know that it would turn into what it is today. But
Yeah.
my first year, I just started teaching more classes, you know, maybe one or two classes a month. And then I was dating someone at the time. This is something that some people don't know. I was dating someone at the time, and he was just talking to me randomly about something. And in that moment, I was like, that's it. That's what
Mm.
I'm going to do. It was for a totally different business structure, but I was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do at Heels Out. And then that's when I was like, I wonder if I can, if someone can do what I'm doing. I wonder if I can duplicate myself with this company instead of me teaching all the classes. So at the time, shout out to Haley Poinsett. At the time, I was an Athleta ambassador at Galleria. Haley was an ambassador, Athleta ambassador as well. So we met through Athleta, and she came. I invited her to the class as a special guest at the time. She loved it, and she kept coming back. And so she
Mm.
was the first person. I met with her at Starbucks, and we were just sitting at the table. I said, I got something I want to do, and I think I want you to be the first person to do it. I said, how do you feel about being a Heels Out instructor? And she just sat there, because she was always really cool. She was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I can do that, you know? And that's what she did. And then so at that moment, she dropped the bomb on me, and she was like, but I'm actually moving to Atlanta. And I was like, bruh, you know, like, that's crazy. Like, take it with you. So she
Yeah.
literally launched in Houston with Heels Out. That very first night, I was so nervous, because I just thought, not that I thought I was so good at it, I felt like it was so much what I was doing in a class, because it wasn't just a traditional heels dance class. And that night she did her first class, my mind was blown. And that was the night that I knew that I was onto something. I said, this is duplicatable. She just did it. And she
Yeah.
did it well. And the women had the same great experience. Someone joking told me, like, it's like when you go to church and the pastor's out, and then like half the members don't come to church because the pastor ain't there.
Yeah.
But so that's how it could get. Like, they would be like, well, Meoka's not teaching then. But man, she was the first one. And then after her followed another instructor. I think, I don't know if Nadia's still on here. Then Nadia brought on Christian. And then I just started getting these amazing women, not even that they just had crazy dance backgrounds, but these amazing women who could light up the class. And that's
Yeah.
when I was just happy, because I was like, wow, this really can happen. And then
Yeah.
Haley took it to Atlanta. We were able to go to Atlanta and do some classes there. And it just opened up doors. So it literally just started with me wanting to celebrate my birthday, not
Yeah.
even going to teach that class, to this company that I have now, where we have a flagship here in Houston. We're in Dallas. We have Nadia and Christian doing classes in New Orleans. I have a Dallas director, shout out to Chantoinette, a Houston director now, shout out to Christian. I have a liaison, that's Kyra, aka the plug, that helps us with community engagement. And so it literally has turned into a conglomerate. It's like beyond me at this point. And so literally just happened to hire support staff. I have an assistant and virtual assistant as well, an ambassador coordinator, a vendor coordinator. And so, like, if anyone needed to see how to make dance into a business, figure out what you would do if you could not use your legs. And when you
Mm.
think about
Yeah.
that, then you can start to become really creative. And that's what I did with Heels Out. I duplicated myself, and I created a way that I could still do what I love, but make it make sense. Because as
Yeah.
dance, we're always looking for the next gig, the next
Yeah.
paycheck, the next dance class, the next workshop, and we're just living gig to gig. But that is
Right.
so old school.
Yes.
Anybody
And it's
watching this,
limited.
dancers, there is another way. It is old school. We can
Yes.
actually make a business out of dance. And that's what I did. And that's the word that I want to spread. Outside of empowering women, I want dancers like me to know that we don't have to just gig it out. We can
Yeah.
make a bit, even if you don't create a business like Heels Out, you can yourself be a business, a brand, and really think about how you can make it work without having to be somewhere all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the message I want on the other side for dancers. Like, if I had to be an advocate, like, how can you make yourself a business? And that's something I specialize in, with just helping people to figure that part out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I see. I can't even read that. Tab Trees, Heels Out Tribe, baby. I love your support, all the people on here. That is so awesome.
Like
I
I didn't
had
even see
no
that.
idea that. Okay, so when did you start? When did all this?
2018 was the very first class I did.
Okay.
2018 to 2019, I was teaching classes on my own. 2019 was when I decided that I wanted to like start expanding.
Hmm.
So I met with a friend. It was the cousin of one of my really good friends from high school. Shout out to Robin. Robin had a big part that she played in helping kind of build the ambassador program. And I believe she was the second instructor that I brought on board, if I'm not mistaken. And so it just started with just having instructors duplicate, like, okay, now you have to kind of write out what you're doing. Now you have to like share these things. So now when I just did it, I have to be able to articulate what I was doing and how I did it. And so that's
Right.
what I did. I created a manual, which from then to now it has been changed 1,000 times.
Of course.
But that's literally what happened. And then as the company began to grow, you start to attract people. And
Yeah.
one thing I've learned in business is that you have to be very watchful of the people around you. So everybody that's on my team and leadership, I watched them for a while. I watched them to see what their strengths were. And I watched them. And when I saw that, I saw like a leadership quality. I almost really didn't ask. I was like, hey, I think you need to be, Christian can tell you. I was like, as she was thinking about going a different direction, and I was like, actually, I think I want you to be the Houston director. And I don't know if they just feel sorry for me, but they agree to do these things because they know. But I don't think they feel sorry. I think they really just like what we do. It's a lot of fun, and we do impact a lot of women. So everyone that does it, I've just kind of been like, almost like, I need you to do this because you're good at it. Like, I know you can do it
Yeah.
really well. And thankfully, they have obliged and they've done it. So it didn't start off with me thinking I would need that. I know my mom, I always say my mom was the first entrepreneur that I ever knew. And my mom had a very successful cleaning business back in my hometown. Unfortunately, that business went under because she was the only person running it. She was
Yeah.
trying to hire, train, get the business, all of that. And it was impossible
It's
for
a
how
lot.
big the business was scaling. So I already knew from childhood, even though I didn't understand it at the time, that if I were going to build my business, I had to also build a team, a strong team. And I can say today, after 4 years, that I do have a very, very, very strong team. Very strong
Yeah.
team. Shout out team. But yes, very thankful for that. So yeah, I always say, like, even if you don't know how something's gonna start, just keep moving forward and position yourself with the right people that can really help you, and that's gonna get you where you need to be. So
Yeah.
one of the things I'm really excited about that I'm announcing, I almost don't want to announce it because I don't know if I've told everybody that's on here, but for the world of dance, I just want to take this thing bigger than what we think about and know. And so as of 2023, Heels Out will start the process of being able to be a franchise. So anybody can have Heels Out where they are
Oh, that's
at
so
2023.
awesome.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's something I'm super, super
Congratulations.
excited about. And again, that just came from aligning myself with someone that was able to speak that into me, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm like foot on the gas. So I think it's not like I'm the first person to do it, but you don't see a lot of us doing something like that, especially in the heels dance world, creating a franchise. But it makes so much sense. And when you think about a team of people who are depending on you, they're all super self-sufficient, but
Yeah.
they're like, they want to do this. And I'm like, I want y'all to do it too. How I'm gonna pay y'all? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so I feel like everything in divine timing works. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
be on the lookout for that in 2023, that we are going to start moving about with the brand awareness to allow other people in different cities to franchise Heels Out. It's already registered trademark. Can't take the name, although
Yes.
many have tried, but it will be available. For those of you who have tried to take the name, I see you. Go ahead and
You don't have.
franchise.
Yes. Look at
Shots
God. I see
fired.
you on there.
No.
That is so exciting. I don't know if you remember me. We took a class together and we
I
were dancing
do.
right next to each other. And I was like,
Yes.
what's she
It
doing?
was
Thank
Simone,
you.
which I absolutely love her. Simone,
Yes.
yes, I remember you.
Okay, yeah. And so I'm happy to see your journey like unfold since that time.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
God, I was gonna ask you something. That is such great news. I was gonna ask you,
Oh, speaking of Simone, Simone was someone I actually reached out to when I first started
uh-huh,
because she has a, was it the Boss Chicks workout?
mm-hmm,
And so I did
mm-hmm,
reach out to her for some guidance, and she was really sweet. She was able to give me some information at the time, and some of the stuff that she shared with me, even at the time I wasn't quite ready for it, but it
mm-hmm.
makes more sense now. I can
Yeah,
verbatim remember what she wrote me, and that's it. What I ended up having to do. So shout
yeah.
out to Simone with a Boss Chick workout. I think it's
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Going back to surrounding yourself with the right people and having the right circle of influence, of
yes.
supporters, all that is super important. And I didn't know if you guys had a relationship, but it kind of made me think about it. And I'm so glad to hear that
Mm-hmm.
another woman, another Black woman, was
Yes,
there
exactly.
supporting you and helping, answer questions and stuff because that doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't. It
I've
doesn't.
reached out to some people and they're just like, I don't have time for that.
But like because of that, I knew I was like, whenever I get this together, I'm going to help other people. And that's when I launched Meoka's Lady Boss Empire, where I help people with, business coaching, branding. I can write up a SOP, a protocol, manuals, and I help people get their business in order. I help people get their business started. I help them think of creative ways to put themselves out there.
Yeah,
And at first when I started, I didn't have the answers, but now I do. And so if someone reaches out, I will answer a question. If you
yeah,
want more help, then I would do a consultation. But I remember what it was like to be in this space and feel like I didn't have anyone to talk. It's literally just now I have people that I've been talking to. Aside
hmm,
from like my team and stuff like that, I always just feel like I don't have anyone that understands this business that I can talk to and understand what I'm doing because I don't even know everything.
right.
And finally, I'm able to. So I was like, man, if somebody one day I'm gonna help other people navigate this thing because it's not fun to navigate alone. I tell you that much.
Yeah, but you did.
Yes,
You
yes, it
did.
is. I did.
And back to, I guess, the topic of it is, creating something from nothing. You went out with an idea
Yeah,
and just kind of blindly walked into it, not
yeah,
knowing where it was going to go. But a lot of times that happens and we like, I don't know, that was a silly idea, or I don't know where this is going to go, or this is too big for me to be able to do, so I'm not going to do anything. But you
right.
kept going, and that's the
Yeah.
key to keep going, like you said.
Mhm. Yeah, there were times where, the thing that people don't talk about, there were times where my classes were not full. There were times where it wasn't a sold out situation. There were times where I walked in like, okay, I need like a build a bear. I was like, I need to build a class for this weekend. How am I gonna make that happen? And it was in those moments that I felt like this is not gonna work. This is what am I thinking?
Mhm.
But the only thing I can say is that you just have to keep going. And like
Yeah,
if that happened before, you got to figure out how to make it work, fix it. Like what can I do better next time? But those were probably in my experience the lowest moments where you're like, where they at though? Like
yeah,
where the people at? Y'all don't want to come dance. And so those moments confidence wise, like if I had to strip away the CEO, like strip away the smile, those are probably the most vulnerable moments because it's almost like it's a reflection of who you are. Like
yeah,
if only three people show up, is that a reflection of who I am? Am I not good enough? And did I
right.
not work hard enough? And honestly, it's just not. It just means that we got some space to grow in, it's some space to work through, and it just makes you a stronger person. So even though those moments, man, what if I had quit? Like, what if
Yeah.
I had quit because I had a small class?
Do
My
you
team, I would
remember?
say I gained a sponsor out of a small class. I had a very small class and she ended up being a sponsor for my anniversary event. So that's what I say there's never a
Oh,
small class. Like you never know who you're gonna meet and who you're even gonna impact in a small class. So
yeah,
it's all good.
yeah. In
Mm.
those moments, and I just want to make sure I understood you. In those moments, was there anything that you could think of that made you want to keep going? Like, how did you stop from just
I
beating
just
up on yourself?
I just didn't want to quit. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to be a quitter, because there are some of you have already experienced this too, where there's that moment where you feel like is this really going well? Should I really just stop, or should I keep going? And I had those
Mhm.
thoughts like, is this really even going well? Should I just call it quits? Should I just quit for a few months or something? But something inside of me, like, I just didn't want to be a quitter. I just didn't want to stop.
Yeah,
And I can't even explain how I did it, because those were probably the hardest moments. But I just didn't want to be a quitter. That's all. I just didn't want to throw it all away, you know.
yeah,
And now when I look back, even today, things are not always perfect, but I'm too far in, you know. I got this team. I can't go back, you know. So I'm like
yeah.
in it now. Like I'm in the quicksand and I'm like
Oh, yeah.
going down in a good way. But like to this point, I will not ever quit. I will not quit. Back then I questioned it. Now I'm not questioning it. So if you can get to the place where you don't question it, then just
Hmm.
keep moving forward. But because it wouldn't even
Yeah,
be a question now, you know.
yeah. What would you say is your, people throw this around all the time, but what is your why?
Um, so a lot of people won't say this. I am, and I think it takes for to be in leadership, you have to be money motivated. I am money motivated, and I should be. If you're a CEO, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to be money motivated, because in order to survive in this world, you need money. Money is not bad. People are bad. And on top of that, when you think about the power that money has, people don't talk about that. Money
Yeah,
holds a lot of power, and the power that I want to use with money is being able to service the people that I love and the community that I'm in. The more money that I make, I can share with the people that I love. The more money the company makes, I can pay the people that work with me and that trust me. You know, we always joke with one of my instructors. I was like, girl, we're going to get a lace front, like the one with the real, like you can't even see it. You know, like in my mind, I just want my team to feel valued for the work that they do, because as dancers, you know, we've done gigs where we got paid nothing. I've done a
yeah,
lot of dancing where I got paid nothing. Lots of hours. I have definitely paid my dues, but no one really deserves to have to live that way. And so my why is that I am money motivated. Money is power, and money makes the world go round. And I want to be able to make money for the company, for myself, for me and my family, my kids. And again, I want to be able to give to the community for sure. The other
yeah,
thing is that the other side of it is the pretty obvious side, is that the women that we get to impact, like it's fun. You know, it's a
yeah,
lot of hard work, but we get to end that hard work with a party. And the women that come really have a good time, and they really appreciate what we do. So I would have to say like a super like gooey moment is like my team for sure. They keep me going, because when you have them saying, retire me from my job, I got up at 3 o'clock this morning because I can't sleep when I have four people that want me to retire them because they want to be a part of this. You know, that's my why. That woke me up this morning at 3 o'clock this morning. My kids, you know, my son is in college. He needs a car. That's a why for
yeah,
me. You know,
yeah,
I want a Range Rover. Anybody else want a Range Rover? I want one of those. You know, I deserve it. And
yeah,
so some, you know, my why is from one end to the other. It's all over the place. But they all are a part of like why I still do this.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I love what you're doing. I love all of it. We're gonna have to talk some more.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
So let me see. I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. What do you see this going? Like, what's your future vision for Heels Out?
Well, so I know my team has been very clear, and I've made it clear I definitely want Houston to be a headquarters flagship. So I see us having a headquarters here, maybe like 2 or 3 floors with offices and multiple dance spaces. Definitely going to franchise, but I want to have a brick and mortar that people can build out if they choose. Because Heels Out, the great thing about Heels Out is that you don't have to have a brick and mortar. You just need a space to house the classes. But
Yeah,
and hopefully down the line, I want to be able to actually have a brick and mortar where if someone wants to take the franchise, they have the option to build out a space that's just unique for Heels Out and other community events and classes and stuff like that. Definitely see my leadership being able to move up on the corporate level. Definitely see wider events like expos and events, Heels Out expos and events for women. I definitely see us attracting more people, more women that want to franchise this in different cities and even internationally. I see myself really just living in a high-rise condo, I see myself dropping off my keys at the front and valeting and riding an elevator up to whatever floor. I see the people on my team having improved quality of life. I see creating a space where women can work and be a part of this organization and be proud of the work that they do. These are all things that are very, very valuable to me.
Yeah,
And that's what I see happening.
I see it for you, girl. I
Thank
see
you.
it. What um what do you, I guess I kind of already asked you that. Where can people find you? So I know they can see you on here right now, but leave your website, leave all the information. If there's anyone watching it right now that you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you leave a comment. I'll make sure I get it to her if you don't leave it for her directly, but we want to make sure that everybody knows how to find you.
Okay, well, you can follow. We had to create a new page. So if you see the old page, don't follow it because I can't interact with that one. Go to Heels Out Dance Party. Heels Out Dance Party. You'll see our logo with a white background. If you see the logo with the black background, don't even go. Don't go. Okay. So Heels Out Dance Party. We're revamping our website, so I'm not even going to give that out right now. But you can keep up with us with Heels Out Dance Party. We have a link in our bio. That link in bio will literally take you anywhere you want to go. If you want to be an instructor, an ambassador, you want to be a vendor, you want to go to a class in New Orleans, Dallas, Houston, you just click the link in the bio and it'll take you to a landing page that will kind of expose you to all the things that are Heels Out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to say thank you for this.
Of
There's
course.
so many great things coming out of this just because you decided to take that leap of faith and just keep moving despite
Yes.
how you're feeling.
Yes.
It's benefiting so many people outside of you that you don't even know, and that's a beautiful thing. So thank you for for everybody else. So
Appreciate
um,
it.
yeah. But thank you so much for doing this tonight. Did you want to leave anybody with anything? Did you have any final statements or what's
Just
going on this
just want to
weekend?
say, if you're watching a replay, just if you're thinking about, you want to come and have a night out, something fun, you just want to enjoy dance for dance, come check us out. Go to our Instagram page, click the link, join a class. Um, I just want women to really be able to live in a life that they feel that it's meaningful. We don't have to be depressed. We don't have to be sad. Put yourself in positions and spaces around people and experiences that are going to improve your quality of life. There's never a situation where someone who's being toxic should be okay. I honestly can't even say that I have any toxic people that are in my ear. I don't have no space for it. And
No.
so there's never a reason, even if it's family, there's family that I have to create boundaries with. There are people I have to create boundaries with, because your peace of mind and your mindset is literally what you have to drive the success of your life. And if your mind ain't right, you're just not, nothing's going to be right. Nothing.
Yeah.
So everything starts with the mind. So take care of your mind. Take care of your thoughts. I just want to say thank you to my team that was able to make it on. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all know how much I love you all. Thank you, Erica, for having me here tonight. Anybody watching the replay, if you need help with how to be a business boss as a dancer, then hit me up. I promise I will help you. I will help you.
Yeah. Awesome. All
Yes.
righty. Well, guys, you know where to find me every week. We do this on Wednesdays every week, 7 o'clock. Let's get down to biz. And I thank you all for being here tonight, and y'all have a fantastic rest of your evening.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye
Meoka.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.